All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CAGcast episode number 721. I'm your host, GBD, here in Long Island, New York. And as always, we're joined by a man who did not go to France, Wombat.
Yeah, I didn't.
I can tell by your shirt that you didn't go to France.
No, I went to the GBD store.
What is that? Oh, camouflage? I'm wearing a camouflage shirt too.
I know.
I just found this one in my closet. I've lost it for about 6 months.
I got this one today.
Is it Nike?
It is not Nike. It is whatever brand was on clearance at Target.
Then it's not like me.
No, it's not. It's not for the cheapy store. Sorry.
I wish I could get the ones from Target, but they don't have tall sizes.
Well, be less tall.
Kohl's has tall sizes. They have a tall and fat section.
I should check that out. Not for the talls.
Right. Anyway, welcome to the show. Of course, we're back after Shipwreck's big European vacation. You heard of National Lampoon's European vacation, but you ain't heard nothing.
To one city.
Right.
Did you see Big Ben in Parliament?
No, those aren't in.
Did you go on
being in Paris?
The big Ferris wheel?
We did not go to a Ferris wheel. No.
How about the Great Wall? Did you see the Great Wall?
I don't. If I did, it was very tiny.
Did you only go to Paris?
Yeah, we only went to Paris. We were only there for a week, and I had my children with me as well. So Paris is enough for 8 days.
Sure.
Did you walk along the Seine?
Yes. The Seine.
Hey, see, I know something.
Yes. Yes. No, we did plenty of walking around. We did all of the museums. We saw the Mona Lisa and the Van Goghs, and we hit up about, I don't know, probably 5 museums. My children learned a lot about art. They found the art where are you familiar with I'm going to pronounce his name wrong. Hugelin?
Oh, Hugh Golins? Huge gonads?
So you know Dante's Inferno, obviously.
The game.
Okay. So we went to the Rodin Museum, which I enjoy that museum quite a bit. I've been there thrice. So one of the statues there, and there's a couple of these statues. There's some in D'Orsay, and then there's some at his museum as well. It's Hugelin, and he's a part of Dante's story about this father who gets trapped in with his kids and has to start eating his kids. So I think it's probably mythologically based somewhat on Zeus's dad, right? Because Zeus's dad was eating all his offspring until Zeus's mom hid Zeus, right?
Yes.
Do I have that right, Wombat?
I believe you do, and yes.
Yeah. So my kids, they took that away. They had a lot of questions about that. They enjoyed that quite a bit. The idea of
eating you.
Yeah, me eating them.
Oh, sure.
I think that was what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did a lot of we went to the top of the Eiffel Tower, did the Arc de Triomphe, Sacré-Cœur.
How is the food?
The food's great. Why wouldn't the food? We had both my kids ate the escargot.
Nice.
They both liked the escargot.
Is good.
Nice.
Yeah. So we didn't go to any like famous chef places that you would know, Wombat.
That's
right?
okay.
So we were the standard going to all the cafes that were close by. You've never been to either one? Have you been to Paris before?
I have not. No.
I have not been to France.
Okay.
I've never been to Europe.
Really? I think you should go sometime.
I would like to. It just hasn't happened for me.
And then we did 2 days at Disneyland Paris as well, which was a fun time for all, other than for my ear.
Yeah, I heard
the Indiana Jones ride.
So what happened there? So walk us through it briefly.
So one of the only rides that like Emmeline couldn't ride was this Indiana Jones roller coaster, right? Like she's tall enough to ride every other ride in the park. So, but we're there. So I'm gonna like take the advantage of being there, and hey, there's a roller coaster. I'm gonna go ride it because when am I gonna be back to Disneyland Paris? So they go off and they're having their fine Disneyland pizza from it's the elephant from Jungle Book, the main elephant. He's got an outpost there. You know that character,
the general elephant?
The general guy. Yeah. They center around some different Disney characters over there. It's like
General Elephant's Pizza. Got it.
Yeah. They're hanging out there, and so I'm going on solo on the Indiana.
No, Indiana Jones, not solo.
He's available for cheap. That character.
Yeah. So I'm getting on this roller coaster, and it's a metal roller coaster that it's like the first Disney ride to do a inversion, right? First one to go in a loop. And so 1993, I think this thing was made. This thing has no business doing a loop because it doesn't have enough speed to do it properly. So the loop is like super tight. And
it's all like the rest flip, of the more ride, of a flip than a loop.
Right. It's really tight. And the cars are only like 2 cars, right? It's not like a long roller coaster train. It's just 2 cars.
Do they look like mine cars at least?
No, they don't. Now,
what is this? What is wrong with this? Okay.
It's supposed maybe they attempt to look like mine cars, but they are shaped odd. So the ride it's not very tall. It doesn't get enough speed. And so the way it compensates for that is like giving you G's by like flinging you around turns. So as it's doing this, and I'm a proficient roller coaster rider, right? Like I've ridden a lot of roller coasters, but I can't keep my head like in between, just banging between the restraints on this thing. And so sure enough, I come off, I'm like, oh, I didn't enjoy that very much getting off the ride, but I don't think of anything about it. So I'm heading back over to General Elephant's outpost to have my lukewarm pizza that I know is waiting for me. And I get there and Mrs. Shipwreck is like, how was the ride? And
what?
Yeah, like I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And she like looked up and she's like, you're bleeding. And I just had like blood like coming off down my ear. Right. And so then we had to walk around looking for the first aid at Disneyland while I'm like, I'm not good around blood, like my own blood. You know that.
That is true. That's right. And you pass out.
And I don't have a good feeling of like she's like, kind of like, you might need stitches for that. So I'm like thinking,
you don't want to hear that.
Yeah. I don't want to hear that while I'm walking through,
right.
Disneyland.
Oh,
Paris.
Honey, can you walk me through the process of them putting the needle in my ear and with a thread over and over again repeatedly until they close it? That'll make me feel much better.
We walk over to like the Indiana Jones like merchandise booth to ask the person like where's first aid. And I'm like, yeah, my ear's bleeding from the ride, and she like looks at it and like almost like throws up. Like
what? It wasn't that bad. It didn't look that bad from the picture that you posted.
Well, that was after I mean, I don't know. I don't know how bad it looked. It's part of my ear. I can't.
Right. It didn't seem that bad, but okay.
No,
you didn't need the stitches.
It was pretty deep, but it's much better now. But
I'm very confused. I feel like Disney, like a few people have ridden that ride before, and they would know if people are getting hurt or not. Like, what's weird about your head that caused the injury?
Well, look at it.
It looks. I mean. It looks like a normal head to me, but then again, look at my head, so that's where I'm coming from.
True.
I have no idea. I know
it's weird.
I'm just glad like I didn't like have an earring or something. Like
that could have been
that would have been rough.
That could have been some you could have earned some francs perhaps.
Right. I got nothing. By the way, Wombat, I know that was going to be your question. What did I get out of Disneyland Paris for my troubles?
Probably. Did you get anything?
I know. I got a bandage on my ear.
That's it.
And like, thanks for coming to first aid.
Right.
Really? Not a hat?
No.
You think they give out hats at first aid?
I bought the $20 t-shirt of the ride.
Afterwards. I know. That's pretty funny. That is pretty funny that you went and bought the t-shirt. Like they didn't give you the t-shirt. That's okay.
Only $20 seems like a good price.
Yeah. The prices were not bad. If you can get to Disneyland Paris, it's quite reasonable.
How does it compare to other Disneylands that you've been
to? In what regard?
Any regard.
Can you rank the Disney pavilions?
it's not as it's the weakest of the Disney parks that I've been to.
That's
But
what I
at
was
the
looking
same
for.
time, they're coming out of COVID with it, right? So the amount of characters walking around is lesser to begin with.
Not as many safety inspectors, obviously, as we've learned.
Yeah. There was a lot of rides that were currently in refurbishment, and they're putting new parks in because they have a big plan to be ready for when the Olympics are in Paris in 2024.
Right.
So they're getting Marvel Land and Arendelle and Star Wars Land. They're getting all that stuff.
Wait, what was the second one you said?
Arendelle,
What's that from?
Frozen.
Oh, that's why. Sometimes I think I'm not like totally with it, but I shouldn't know what that is.
So no.
The ones I've been to, I've never been to Disneyland California. I've only been to all the Disney World and all the parks that are there, and the Disney Tokyo. So those are the ones. And Disney Tokyo is obviously fantastic, and Disney World is obviously enormous.
Right.
So
it's hard to beat the Japanese experience in certain things.
Their Space Mountain though is Star Wars themed. It's Hyperspace Mountain.
Ooh.
So you have the John Williams music like
That's
blaring
key.
the whole time.
That's very key.
And there's like as you're going through, there's like TIE fighters shooting at you, and
They
you're
got all
flying
the
around,
sounds.
and it actually does inversions as well in their Space Mountain.
How'd your head
How are
do
the
on that ride?
lines?
The lines were okay. They weren't great. It's the new pass. Like they don't do fast passes anymore.
Yeah, that I know.
So now you just like pay to get on if you want to skip the ride. Or
How does
skip the
that work?
line.
What does that mean, pay to get on?
You take out your phone and you say, I want to ride this ride right now.
Uh-huh.
And it says that will be
Yes.
$12 to your
Wow.
credit card to ride that ride now.
That's great. That's what I want to hear. That will get me to go to the park. If you tell me I can pay $12 to skip the line, I will.
Oh, we absolutely did it several times because our limit was like 30 minutes, right? Like if the line's going to be more than 30 minutes,
Yes.
it's not worth our time
Right.
to wait in that line.
No.
We're here to do Disneyland Paris. We're not here to wait in the lines. So it was fun. It's a good park.
Which Space Mountain had the Star Wars? That's Japanese Space Mountain or France Space Mountain?
I think there's multiple ones that have it right now, but the France one
okay.
is the one that I was talking about.
Got it.
There
Excellent.
was some confusion in the chat.
I didn't go anywhere. Just in case you're wondering. I didn't go to any foreign countries
Neither did I.
or other states.
Nope.
How about some show feedback?
Sure. This is from not last week.
Oh,
but the week
don't
before.
even read this. I saw this on the YouTube. Is this on YouTube or some shit?
No, this was from the actual thread.
Oh.
Basically, this was the comment, the most commented comment. Do you want me to paraphrase?
Sure.
Basically, well, Punisher 138 said, "Hey, Cheapy, I just wanted to say that you were definitely wrong about the randomness of loot and Fortnite being the hook that keeps people coming back.
Randomness of everything, not loot. Randomness of everything, not
that's
loot.
what you have to listen to the comment.
Okay, go
Just
on.
like Wombat was saying, if you were talking about a game like Overwatch where you get new skins at random loot boxes, you'd be
No,
correct. But
different.
that logic does not
Different.
apply to
Nope.
Fortnite.
Wrong.
Just as Wombat was saying, no
Wrong.
one cares what they get in random chests they find in the game.
Not what I was talking about
I'm
at all.
skipping ahead. Okay.
It's the
the loot
randomness
people-
of overall of the game,
No,
not of
that's-
loot packs. That's the
Again,
draw to your
you're-
mind, to everybody's
you're s-
mind.
The loot people care about getting is not random at
I'm
all.
not talking
It's just
about
part
loot
of
at all. Who's talking about loot?
No,
Not
or
loot.
random anything. You're talking about you
Random
think the appeal-
gameplay.
It's no, that's not what you said at all. Now it's random game.
Everything
not
is
the
random. Every experience is random there.
No, it isn't. That's the appeal to Fortnite is the ability to unlock the stuff. It's the XP.
It's the same thing as any
It's the
other
battle
battle
pass.
royale experience, right? It's the same randomness that's in any battle royale game.
But
Sure,
that's
you've
not-
got collectibles and stuff on top of that, which is definitely like an addictive thing to some people. But I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about just the randomness of everything. Every game different. You start out with different weapons. You start in a different spot on the map. You start out, there's different maps. Everything's different
The map's
every time.
always the same.
Okay, whatever. What You
The
understand?
map's always the same.
The
and all
map
the chests are
changes
in the
though. They
same
change.
spot.
They change it. It's always a different experience when you play. There's a lot of things about it that you almost win, and that gets you to come back. The randomness of like getting close to winning. It's a lot of factors in it. It's not. I'm not talking about like loot packs or just looting. I mean, looting is obviously a part of it, but I'm not talking about like the collectible stuff. Like he's talking about like loot packs in Overwatch. I'm not talking about Overwatch. Is not a battle royale. I'm not even talking about that. Anyway, Shipwreck wants to. He's about to look for his glasses. I can see his sleeping,
I
his awake
them.
glasses.
I had located them. They're over there. Still.
Anyway, yes, there's random loot in Overwatch. But I'm not talking about like the collectible umbrellas and stuff like that. I'm talking about like the gameplay. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, what else we got?
Sure. And also, Oli Smelly Butts also said, I completely agree with everything
Yes.
Wombat has said during this week's CAGcast. So,
yes, I'm glad that Smelly Butts are agreeing with you everywhere.
yep. That's,
Perfect.
I just wanted to make sure that went on record also.
Perfect.
By the way, speaking of Smelly Butts, I was home alone with the dog for a little bit of the evening.
And he
early
complained
evening.
about your farts?
No,
Oh.
but the dog I lean over and the dog, of course, is licking her dog parts. And as she's licking down there, she farted at the same time, like audibly, and did not move her head. And it was the grossest and funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
God.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
My gag reflex.
Yep. That's it. That was my whole dog story.